Yo, I'm SickFishTix and thanks for clicking on my video. Sit back and let me tell you about the more obscure top 25 free games of 2023. If you want to stay up to date on free games, then remember to hip thrust the subscribe button. Let's go. Omega Strikers is free to play on Steam. It's like FIFA, the one since 2009, and League of Legends had a funky night out and this bad boy was the result. Here, you'll enjoy a 3 vs 3 match of wannabe Cristiano Ronaldo anime thingamajiggies all striving for the best goal while introducing their opponent to a variety of imaginative spells and a baseball bat to the face. I think I saw a shotgun, some chain lightning, and a blob that was way too happy. It's kind of a shame that you have to rely on strangers if you don't have those things called friends, because it felt like the only deciding factor in winning is who has the less retarded goalkeeper. It's sitting in with mostly positive reviews on Steam and is actually a fun game to play. I had some pretty cool goals myself and it almost brought out a sweet celebration. There are a variety of heroes, skills, and abilities for you to explore. It's worth a run or two if you have a few hours you need to pass. Check it out over on Steam. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't watched tennis in a while, but I didn't know it's turned out this juicy. The team behind this beautiful monstrosity are Helltown Racketeers, and they need either to find Jesus or book a one-on-one with Dr. Phil because their brains are very, very special. Like, how do you even come up with this idea? Like, what was going on that night and why was I not invited? Don't get me wrong, it's actually fun despite the looks, and it's free. And being something I would never choose to play on my own, it actually left me with a positive experience. Well, minus the pain in the eyes, but I'm also a boomer. So I guess if you're into tennis or platformers, then I guess this bad boy fills both those cups in some strange way. Warheaven is currently free of charge. Warheaven, which just came out of open beta not too long ago, has now turned free to play for anyone who wants to chop off some limbs. I said in one of my last videos that Warheaven was a better medieval fighter than For Honor, and I still stick to that despite some optimization issues. It's great fun, especially if you're lucky enough to have friends to play with, and then it gets really juicy. There are a variety of classes with different skills and abilities to suit any playstyle. The games are short and satisfying, and the maps have enough variety and choke points to make the combat just right. If you haven't tried it yet, you really should do yourself a favor and take it out for a spin or two. Just stay away from the Archer class, it's literally trash. Next up we have Out of Hand. Here you will shoot, explode, push or slash your friends to oblivion. Join 2 to 8 other wankers who've all lost their arms in a tragic accident and try to be the last one standing. Now it's up to you to use your makeshift mechanical arm and the items at hand to eliminate your so-called friends. It's a brilliant idea, to be honest, and I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when the developers came up with this juicy idea. From the short time I had with it, I can tell you it's really fun party game. You just need some friends to make that experience extra special. I suggest you put this bad boy in your library while it's still free, because something tells me they might change that in the foreseeable future. I want to get your eyeballs on Project Sphinx. In this first-person puzzle-solving game, you're a funky robot enjoying life on a space station. And like any great robot, you're going to have to explore, teleport and ricochet your way around the base, and in each room you enter is a different puzzle to solve. From what I can see in the gameplay, it seems a bit heavy to run, so don't expect a buttery smooth experience if you're gaming on your grandmother's toaster. Can you handle another battle royale? I mean, is there still milk left in that damn cash cow? Because Fairlight 84 wants some of that milk straight down the pipe hole. It's 2084 and you're sent to an apocalyptic world where you can jump in and command different vehicles, fly and dash around the battlefield with a funky jetpack and use a variety of ultimate skills to spice things up. To be honest, the best thing about this game is that it allows you to crush the hopes and dreams of small children if you have just semi-decent aim. And for that, 10 out of 10. We're drifting off topic here. Fairlight 84, a free battle royale, it does all the things that you would expect from a battle royale. A jack of all trades is a master of none kind of thing. So if your Battle Royale hole is missing in your heart, Fairlight would love to squeeze right in. It's been out for a while, but for some reason they've reset their release date for another start, I guess. Next up, we have Starsiege Deadzone, which is a corridor extraction shooter set in the far reaches of someone's anus. Sorry, I mean space. You delve into a derelict space station overrun by hostile cybrids in search of valuable resources. You can group up with two squad mates and fight against other raiders and do your best to escape alive. It's giving me dark and darker vibes, but in space. Pretty cool. In fairness, it's not too bad, but a game like this lives or dies on its gunplay. Unfortunately, the gunplay in this game kinda needs a bit of help, like my dumbass, but I would say it has potential. Go take it for a ride and let me know if you agree in the comment section. Next up, we have Bucket Brawl, which is a fast-paced arena fighter where animal toys seek to recycle each other in a world of plastic and raining buckets. You'll engage in epic battles using buckets as your primary weapon. Toss buckets at your plastic friends, knock them off ledges, convert them into reusable material, or send them on a train to hell. Strive to be the last toy standing. You get to choose from a variety of adorable animal characters and customize them with your preferred colors. You get to immerse yourself in an exciting environment with map-specific mechanics. Don't kick the bucket, kick your friends in the butthole. It's time to make the world a better place. Next up, we have Expedition Agartha, which is a high-stakes first-person slasher. Here you will loot ancient treasures, conquer mythical enemies, and extract to safety, alone or in groups of 3 idiots. According to the developer, Expedition Agartha is the first and only medieval extraction looter available on Steam. It does give me dark and darker vibes, but I guess that's not medieval, or is it? Anyway, Expedition Agartha sitting in with mixed reviews with the 1300 so far. Next up, we have Warshaw Rising City of Heroes, which is a challenging turn-based tactical RPG set in the occupied Polish capital during World War II. You get to pick your heroes and navigate historic streets, confront German occupiers, all while trying to survive the 63 days of hell in this historically accurate portrayal of Polish fighting for their city. I'm not entirely sure why, but it seems that the developers removed a lot of the actual content and strategic gameplay from the game that people paid money for and then turned this game into some type of visual novel. It's clear to see that the community did not approve this approach, as they've sent this bad boy into mostly negative reviews. Strangely enough, the original game can still be played. You just have to open the settings and then go into the beta section and choose Bootcamp Public Test Branch. I'm not sure why they would hide it there, but I mean, for those who enjoyed the game before the update can still play it to your heart's content. If you want to experience some taste of what our Polish homies had to go through during World War II, then this will give you the flavor sensation on the tip of your tongue kind of thing. Next up, Marvel Snap has hit Steam and it's now free to play. Marvel Snap is a fast-paced collectible card game that reimagines the genre with what they call innovative mechanics. I'm not completely sure I agree with that, but okay. In fairness, Marvel Snap scratches the Hearthstone/Legend of Runeterra itch, but it plays it in under 5 minutes, which means you can start a game when you land on the shitter and be done when the last poop drops from the bumhole. I played it for 3.5 hours and I didn't lose a single game. Now, I would love to take credit for my big brain strategy plays, but I think 99% of the people I faced were bots. It's actually not too bad of a game, but it's filled with deeply insulting monetization policies. Casual players will have a fun ride for some weeks. A competitive player should either prepare to seriously invest like €100 a month or sell a kidney to keep up with the high rate of cards added each month. Given the high rate of cards added each month and the extremely slow rate of getting cards due to inflated prices and randomization, you basically will pretty much never be able to play on a high level without investing huge sums to keep up with the meta. In fairness, these types of games really turned me off, so 3.5 hours was all I could muster. And for some reason, Marvel Snap is sitting in with very positive reviews on Steam, so it clearly shows I have absolutely no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Next up, we have RawNerve, which is an easy to play, hard to master driving sandbox set in a psychedelic galaxy. In reality, it's like Trackmania, but if Trackmania was on LSD. The handling is interesting. It's like driving a car on a frozen lake with summer tires on. And for once, I would suggest keyboards rather than controllers for more control. That said, for the price of free, it's worth a fun ride through a weird world with some good tunes to match. You should definitely go have a look over on Steam. Next up, Blaster Beat, which is a new PvP rhythm shooter. Master shooting to a unique variety of tracks in dynamic and rhythm-based gameplay. It's not too bad of a looker either, with arenas that allow for some good action. Listen, I have as much rhythm as your local grandmother who's going through her second hip replacement. So I suck at this game more than I usually suck at games. Let's just say I found a new low. Anyway, we're drifting off topic here. Blast Beat is an interesting fusion of shooting and rhythm-based gameplay that offers a fresh and funky experience. It's definitely worth a try if you're lucky enough to have been born with rhythm. I mean, considering it's free and all. If you want to experience rage quitting or just smashing your head into a keyboard for relief, let me introduce to you the hardest game ever. A merciless platformer where the developer's only goal was to make life so absolutely fucking difficult for you as possible, requiring pixel precision to advance. To be honest, I don't have the eye to brain to finger coordination required to even move 6 inches in this game, so I wasn't going to mess with this one. But if you want to put yourself through some torture, then the link's in the description, homie. Next up, we have Operation Harsh Doorstep, which is a shooter sandbox with all the features a game should have. Single player missions, co-op modes, multiplayer servers, and Steam Workshop support. These things should be basic and all games should have them. However, for some reason, games rarely do anymore. But the developers behind Operation Harsh Doorstep wanted to change that. It's being funded through Patreon and will be free to play once it's ready for release. It's currently in early access, so keep that in mind. People seem to be a bit harsh on Steam. Angus is coming in hard saying, is it free? Yes. Is it fun? No. Ruthless. Another homie says Operation Harsh Doorstep is depressingly boring with poor optimization and idiotic AI. I mean, that doesn't sound that bad. I think it's fair you give it a go yourself and see if you agree with our homie Angus and whatever the other guy was called. It's sitting in with mixed reviews at just under 1,000 reviews. Next up, Robinhood, Sherwood Builders Bandit Trail. I guess the developer decided to use sentences rather than words to name their game. Anyway, this Robin Hood game here is an action-adventure RPG with the city building elements. Here you take on the role of a classic hero who stands up to tyranny and injustice that haunts Sherwood. Get to fight, craft, steal, and of course help the local people to grow and prosper. A few minor bugs here and there, but the concept I think is okay. It's giving me a bit of a clunky Valheim vibes with a sprinkle of bow action. If you're a Robin Hood fan, I guess it's worth giving this prologue a run. Next up, we have Service Blade, which is an enchanting third-person action-adventure game that takes place on an epic journey through a deer-worshipped desert world. Whatever the hell that means. You get to engage in high-octane combat, testing your skills in challenging encounters while you unleash power of the blade and become a legend of your very own world. I can feel our collective brain is thinking the same thing. A low-budget Dark Souls clone. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Ceveus Blade is sitting in with positive reviews, so maybe we don't know what the hell we're talking about. If you want your Souls-like cup filled to the max, then head on over to the Steam page and give Service Blade a go. Next up, we have Against the Odds. Here you put yourself against 7 others in a variety of intense multiplayer battles where the other competitors are not your only concern. You'll also have the pleasure of avoiding incendiary flamethrowers, electrifying Tesla coils, and of course those good old-fashioned mutilating buzzsaws, all while sprinkling a bit of parkour platforming on top. A fun, competitive multiplayer platforming party game, and there can only be one winner, so get ready to kiss those friendships goodbye. Next up, something that made me stop up in my tracks during my research for this video. J-Jump Arena, a turn-based jumping elimination game where everything happens all at once. Here you will learn to be precise with your jumps and weapon handling, as well as the art of outsmarting your opponents. Multiplayer for up to 10 players and a single player mode is available if you wanna stay away from human contact. It was just too funny not to include in today's video. It was just released and it's sitting in with positive reviews, so go give it a go on Steam, I'm sure it will put a smile on your face. Is a futuristic free-to-play co-op shooter developed by Next Studios and published by Level Infinite. You will deploy with your squad or fight alone with your tamed nano and venture into the collapsed world for intense PvE and PvP combat. In reality, it's nothing we haven't seen before. The reviews are a bit brutal, sending this bad boy into the mixed review tier due to it being a bit clunky and with annoying unnecessary monetization practices. But in fairness, it seems to be running a little bit better and with more things to do than Starfield. We need to chill a bit, so the next game that's free for you to get is Urbo Dream One, which is a meditative puzzle game where you build houses around a mysterious tower. Let your mind wander through visions of an enhanced city on an island in the middle of crystal clear waters of a vibrant lake. Don't jump into this expecting a city building simulator. It's much more of a light game, meditative, relaxing, just build your own little Babylon on a stick. But to be honest, just looking at this bad boy has set my blood pressure from absurdly high, please call the 911 operator mentioned above, to fairly high, consider calling a doctor tomorrow. Next up, we have Riflemen, a multiplayer first-person shooter with classic World War II bolt-action rifles. Tight battles between two teams with up to 5 players, with lots of unique arenas, game-changing weapon drops, different game modes, and lots of customization options. All in all, you better not miss a shot. And on the fun scale, I think I would place it just above Overwatch 2. Next up, we have Naraka Bladepoint, that's going free to play from July 13th. I can tell you straight away, any game with this type of Asian sensation graphics freaks me out. Because I'm sure every Asian I meet is gonna beat me up so bad that I feel like I'm playing a survival horror game. In fairness, I tried this bad boy out for the total of 29 minutes, painful for my soul and my PC. For some reason, my PC sounded like a jet airplane preparing to send my electricity bill to damn orbit. Not to mention my soul getting destroyed when this mofo started throwing me around like a ragdoll. If you're missing another battle royale in your life, you might as well give this bad boy a go. It's starting on July 13th. It's sitting in with mostly positive reviews on Steam with around 130,000 reviews, so it can't be that bad, I guess. Oh, and there are also at least 2 big and bouncy reasons to play this game, if you're not into the battle royale thingy and more into the bouncy thingies. I want to give a quick shout out to Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition, which is currently free to get your juicy hands on. I don't think I need to tell you about Age of Empires 3, you pretty much know everything you need to know about this bad boy. The Definitive Edition is in reality a slimmed down version of the original game, but it should be big enough to allow you to fill your RTS cup to the max. I've been playing Age of Empires for years, since you were swimming in your daddy's ballsack. I have also for the entire time been terrible at Age of Empires. Taking this bad boy for a spin just reconfirmed that, but man does it feel good. The annoying thing is that my wife watches me play and she won't let me kill any deer. So developers, please add more variety of harvestable wildlife. Preferably non-cute ones so we can all stop starving. Go give Age of Empires 3 a go and I'm sure it will put a smile on your beautiful face. Last but not least, a quick shout out to Roboden, which is an asymmetrical, indirect controlled real-time strategy game about robot colonies. You control the colony's priorities in the game while the automated drones execute the so-called program. Collecting resources, build and combine units, play with friends if you have any of those in cooperative and competitive modes. In fairness, graphics are rather simple but not primitive, and reminds me of old RTS games. And funny that it gives you a satisfying feeling when you see your fully developed base with dozens of drones busy with their jobs. In reality, it's just like a cute little city building game. It's definitely worth a run and it's currently sitting in with the positive reviews.